watch the morning show on YouTube, and you can leave your comment also via my Twitter page, which is Kwame Owusu Danso on Twitter, and on Instagram is at Kwame Owusu Danso, and on Facebook is at Kwame Owusu Danso. You can follow me and share with me, what you're thinking this morning. Good morning to you, Desmond. I trust you're doing well. Very well. So let's go let's go to East Africa, precisely Uganda, and look at the issues that have come up from that particular country. Bobby Wine-Fowle's arbitrary detention complaint. I'm sure you've been following that story.
Sure.
What do you make of it?
Yeah, Kwame, thank you very much, and let me say a very good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners across the group, and also say a good morning as well to my people in the Equapin North constituency, and my colleagues who are joining us via Facebook all over the world. Kwame, the issue at hand is not pleasant to really even talk about it so much, to extend that if you look at what is happening in Africa, and I say Africa because it is not only Uganda which has issues. If you look at the Africa continent, it looks like most people want to be in power forever. They just want to die on the throne. If you look at the African presidents, you ask yourself, why is it that if somebody is in power, he wants to, amend the constitution to suit his personal gains, and then at the end of the day, if the person is supposed to even spend about 4 to 5 years, he will end up spending more than 20 years. And I ask myself, so for how long are you going to continue to be in power? You cannot be in power and turn as a stone. No matter what it is, you will even die. And so why don't you even prepare people who can take over when you are no more? Does it mean that you just wake up one day and you said, oh, he's no more? Then there's nobody who the country has prepared to take over? Some of these things, I think that, I don't know why we claim that we have African Union, we claim we have ECOWAS, and even East Africa. I believe they also have their own countries, community. So at the end of the day, what are they doing as neighboring countries? Can they advise? Can they say something to their fellow colleagues and tell them that, look, it is a disgrace to the continent? Look at what happened in America. Which African president was invited? That's the question I asked. They didn't invite any of the African presidents because they realized that, you see, we don't even have what it takes to be part of them. So all the time they have, relegated us to the background to an extent that when they are even doing something, they don't want to include us. But when you are inaugurating an African president, then you see them calling them, bringing, foreigners and what have you. Look at what is happening to our own young man, Bobby Wine. I think that these are some of the things that when it happens, the youth take things into their own hands, and then they begin to do whatever they want to do. And we don't want the continent to continue like this. I keep telling my friends that, look, if care is not taken, a time will come, if an elderly person says something to a young man, we'll just ignore the person and do whatever we want to do. Because it is happening everywhere. The old man doesn't want to even listen to the young ones because they think that if they are old, what they say is funner. Meanwhile, we are in a world where even a 4-year-old boy can give you an advice. And if you take that advice, it can help you. But look, somebody will say, for me, I'm 70, I'm 75. So, I've made up my mind. Whatever you tell me, I have been there before. I have been younger. You have never been an old person. Why? We should be able to listen to advice, make sure that if things are not going on well, we can come to a round table, have a better discussion, and move forward as a continent. You have detained somebody and the person cannot even go out to buy foodstuffs. You have detained somebody all in the name of an election. Because of an election, internet was shut down. Because of an election, you use military people to intimidate people, and it is happening everywhere on the continent. And that's why I'm saying that it is bad. We saw what happened in our own country, and it has happened in Uganda. And you see, it is not only in Uganda. Across the African continent, it has happened. And when it happens, you check the ages of those people who are behind it, you realize that these are people who are over 70 years. So you ask yourself, why? When you become an old person, is it difficult for you to leave power? We all saw what happened to our own Mugabe. We saw what is happening. You understand? So you ask yourself, why? If you tend to the ages of 70 plus, at all costs, must you hold on to power so that you die on the throne? No. Give opportunity to the young ones. Let the young ones also come out with what we have. They said, Bobby Wine's wife was, I saw a clip. I don't know whether that clip was true or not, but she was beaten before even the elections. And if you are going into an election and your main contender, his wife, has been, maltreated, what do you think will happen? How many days now after the election? You have won. You claim you have won. If you have won, why still hold on somebody under house arrest? Does it mean that when he comes out, he is going to overtake you or what? If you know what you did was clean, why should you, hold somebody under house arrest? I think that it is about time the youth of Africa stand up, rise up, and tell our elders, our so-called elders who don't want to leave power, that enough is enough. Mm-hmm. It is about time we speak the truth into their faces. Okay. Because if we don't do that, we'll continue to be in a continent where if you are a young man, whatever you say, old men will just come and counter it and say, we are older and we have been there before. So whatever you are telling us, we are not going to take it. Yeah. Look at our own country. And I will come back to that maybe in our subsequent, Of course. If you look at the number of people who are holding on to positions, and you ask yourself, why is it that we have young men who have graduated, who are very knowledgeable in various fields, yet we don't, include them in our governance. We don't include them in our day-to-day activities. We just waste their talents, and then we just hold on to the old men, and then all that they do is to come and then be telling us what they have become ever since they became old. I think that what happened in Uganda is a shame. We need to condemn it. And I'm looking at what the AU are going to talk about. Because for me, I think that if the AU recognizes their own body, and if they have a president as AU president, they should come out with a statement and condemn it. But Kwame, sometimes I ask myself, is it because this issue of Dufiasem, that is why when issues of this happen, other presidents don't want to talk about it? Or is it because they talk and then those presidents just refuse to listen to them? Because I'm surprised. Because the news is all over. And I have not seen any African president, or I have not heard any African president saying that, look, what you are doing is not proper, so why don't you allow the guy to work freely? I don't know whether they advise him and he doesn't take. Because I'm shocked that somebody contested an election. If the person, for one reason or the other, have lost, if he has lost, there's no point in you holding on to the person. Allow the person to work freely. I still can't get it, and I can't think far.
You can't think far. That's what Into is mesmerized and scandalized by the kind of African politics that we practice. To a very minimal extent, I found some sense in the response that was given by the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, when he was asked the question about democracy and his continuing stay in power. And he indicated that, well, what is democracy? What is democracy to you is not democracy to us. And we create our own system that works, and his system, the system that he's created in Rwanda, for instance, is working for the people. I mean, there are many people who have said that they prefer benevolent dictators to democratic tyrants. And it does appear that what is happening in Uganda is a democratic tyranny.
Well, then I think that if that is what they are saying, then we shouldn't even practice the democracy at all. You understand? Because if we claim we are practicing democracy, it should be clean, it should be free and fair. You understand? Mm-hmm. So if we are practicing democracy and at the end of the day we are just preaching something else, then I don't see the need for us to be calling ourselves democratic country and what have you. We should just, declare that we don't believe in the democracy that we think that we want to practice, because at the end of the day, if we even say we are practicing it, we don't do it. It's just on paper.
Okay.
And we don't practice it.
All right. Thank you very much, Desmond. We now have to come back to our own country and address some very teething problems that we are confronted with. I don't know whether this one is a problem or it's not, but I'm sure the answer will be drawn from the analysis that will be had here on the show. But a lot of people are asking me for the number of my designer, the person who made the outfit that I'm wearing this morning. Well, his number is 0242 53 6003. 0242 53 6003. His name is Peter. When you call Peter, just tell him Kwame Owusu also gave you his number and that I said he should give you a nice discount. Also, a special good morning to you, all our chairs. Now, there's this announcement that I need to make quickly before we look at the other substantive issues. And this announcement is from a very good friend who is the CEO of Shekinah Herbal. Now, today I believe it's Friday, right? So, Shekinah Herbal today, he will be at Agbotome, near Deeper Life Church, 3rd and 4th. Oh, no, wait. Okay, so 3rd and 4th February, he will be at Kumasi Amakum at EP Church premises. And if you've been watching Pan-African television on Sundays, I'm sure you know the man that I'm talking about. He deals in all kinds of things. He has medicine. He has a hospital. So if you are minded, you can call him on 0244 941 428. 0244 941 941 428. 0244 941 428. That's Shekinah Herbal. So just call him if you need any health care or any medical assistance. He will be able to help you with that. I'm told Honorable Ebi Fuseni is also around, and we will very soon listen to him on the show. But it's instructive that we come back home. Yesterday, actually on the 21st, and I think I've sent it to Edem, if Edem can flash it on the screens to aid our conversation. Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has released his nominees for ministers and regional ministers designate. I'll be going through them, and then we will look at the other attending issues in respect of this appointment. National Security, Kandapa has been retained. Finance, Kenofurata has been retained. Trade and Industry, Alan Chamantin has been retained. retained, I beg your pardon, retired. Did I say detained? Defense, Dominic Nitiwol has been retained. Interior, Ambrose has been retained. Foreign Affairs, Shelley Ayokobotwe has been retained. Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Gloria Ekufu has been replaced with Godfred Dame. Local government decentralization. You remember how, what's her name? The woman who lost Poto at Nalerugu Gambaga, what's her name? What's her name? No, that's not how I come in. Oh, what's her name? See, if you've been defeated so badly, sometimes you even forget your name. That's a problem. Anyway, but
thank God you've not forgotten my name.
No, that's for you there. That's for you there. But that woman there, oh, what's her name? Adja Alima Bahama. She was beaten brutally by my friend Alhaji Baba Said Yusufu. Like properly beaten. Oh, they ship and they say if they rain ship you, say you ship you, make it not. Alhaji Baba said to beat the woman Poto in Nalerugu Gambaga. She originally was the local government decentralization and rural development minister. She's been replaced with Dan Bochi. And parliamentary affairs, Oseche Mensabonsu, communications and digitalization, Esla has been retained. Food and agriculture, Owusu Efria Koto has been retained. The man who said a bunch of plantain is 3 Ghana cedis. Ghana. Energy, Ameru has been retained. Has been changed and replaced with Honorable Matthew Poku Prempe. Hey!
Yes. You don't.
Napo. Education. Yes, I campaigned for Yao Osei Educhum. Yeah. So I'm not surprised at all that he has been mentioned by the president. I hope that the parliamentary appointment committee will not go and mafia my friend. If they do that, if they do that, I will deal with Honorable Division on this show.
He said he won't pass him.
He's a very arrogant person.
Health. Health. Honorable Kwekwaji Mamenu. Kwekwaji Mamenu has been retained. Honorable is livid and he's not seated yet he's responding to the issue.
Take it easy.
Where am I now? Health. Okay. Well, so lands and natural resources. Abu Jinapo. Hey, Abu Bidat. Hard guy. My KNUST brother. Even though he was in Conti. Yeah, he was in an inferior hall. We were in Katanga Hall. You know, but always he was in Katanga Hall. Abu, congratulations. Who else? Works and housing. Okay, wait, no. Roads and highways. Honorable Ebi Husseini's best friend, Amakwata, has been retained. Works and housing. Francis Asensubuachi. Bantama Asensubuachi. Oh! I like the fact that they are bringing in some young guys, you know, very young guys. I thought that they said it was bad, but when the NDC did same, people complained though. Now, anyway. Transport, Kweku for Siama, fisheries and aquaculture, Mavis Hakubzi, hey! MP Schwarzenegger. Railway development, Peter Amewu. I'm sure his election will come up, definitely. Sanitation and water resources, Cecilia Abenadapa. That's what that woman I like her. She's very calm. Tourism, arts and culture, Awar Mohammed. Which Awar Mohammed? Honorable. Is it a business development minister? Yeah. I think he's a calm guy.
He's a very cool guy.
Yeah. Gender, children and social protection. Honorable Sarah Adjoa Dome Kwabenya Safo.
That's your MP.
Who's MP? Please. She's not my MP.
That's your MP.
No.
Whether you like it or not.
Why? Is it my fault? I know she's not my MP. She's not my MP. Go and look at my roads. Go and look out. There's no. The only place we have street lights in that constituency. Wait.
Confirm my statement that she's your MP.
No, she's not. I visit my wife there. I don't live there. My wife lives there. The only place we have street lights is from the roundabout to her father's house. Apart from that, we don't have street lights anywhere else. Anyway, but I like her. I think she's done well for herself. So I just have to, definitely you'll be passed, okay? Even though you're not my friend, but I wish that the appointment committee will make sure that you sail through peacefully, I like your resilience and the fact that you've been able to get to this point in your career. So congratulations in advance. I wish you well. Even though you are not my friend, but I wish you well. So what happened to my MP for Swedru? The former gender minister.
The gender minister.
The former gender minister.
Former gender minister. So that's to go away.
She was Ahmed's very good friend.
Away.
So will she be able to retain her seat there, in Parliament? Hey, in 2024 they go hard.
If it will rain, you see it in the clouds.
Charlie, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable Ebenezer Kojokum, MP. I like him, eh? Hey, then this one, Chieftaincy. Oh, Chieftaincy, yeah. Nothing there. You'll be resolving conflicts. Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Kwekwe Friye. Employment, Labor Relations, Ignatius Bafo Ewa. Information, Kojo Ponkroma. You are going to maintain him. Kojo Ponkroma.
Kojo is back.
When he called Mahama Papano. You overlook that.
One of those things.
It's one of those things. Okay. I think Kojo is good. Region, Ahafo. George Boache, Ashanti. Simon Osemensa, Bono, Justina Owusu Banahere, Bono East, Adujan, Central, Justina Marigold Asan, Eastern, Seth Champo. Hey, my very good friend. Seth Champo. Hey!
They conspired and got him out of Parliament during their primary.
So he's out of Parliament now?
Yes.
Kwame!
He lost the primaries.
Yeah.
Oh, then I have to go. It's not Brian Achampong.
Brian Achampong, they went and made sure they got him out.
Said Achampong and Shaba, right?
My very good. We did
different.
We did LLB together. Me and him we did LLB together.
Seth Achampong.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Very, very nice guy. Oh, Seth. So he's not in Parliament. Hey, where have I been?
He lost the primaries. You didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
He lost the primaries.
Oh, but Seth can always come back.
He lost the primaries.
Seth can always come back. Seth.
The forces that gets him out.
Greater Accra, Honorable Henry Korti, MP.
Yeah.
You like him, eh?
Oh, no.
Honorable. The way you smiled and said, that guy will beat you.
Kwame, I've told you, it's not the size of the man in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the man. The fight.
Honorable. Sometimes the size matters.
No. See,
sometimes there's fight to you.
Sometimes somebody will be taller than you.
When there's fight to you, you don't see the size.
Charlie, honorable, you gave him more. Northern, Shani Al-Hassan Saidu. Northeast, Yedamna Zakaria. Oti Joseph Makubu. As for you, the one is in where's Central Region? You, Justin Amarigorasan.
Your hometown.
I will hold you to proper account. In fact, every week your matter will be on Pan-African TV if you don't do your work well. And also Oti Region 2, you too. Savannah, Said Mohazu Jibril, Upper East Stephen Yakubu, Upper West Dr. Hafiz Ben Sali, Volta Dr. Achibodi Olecha, Western Kwabena Otre da comments. Hey, this my brother. He day Western there, no, he be there a good day. Hey, now you don't pick my course. And Western North is Richard Obe. Let me say this. I don't know what these ministers think. I don't know what they think. If you're a minister of state, you work for the people of this country. You are obligated to pick calls. You are mandated to pick calls. You are mandated to respond to text messages. You are mandated to respond to your emails. So that attitude that you people had 4 years ago, if you don't know, I will call you and we want an information and you refuse to give us that information, your matter will be on board. If you like, go and bring Delta 5. I'm telling you, this year, we are not playing. All these MPs, when you call them, these MPs and ministers, and when you call them, they refuse to pick your call. What do you mean?
Hey, take it easy.
No. What do you mean? In Rwanda, I don't know maybe if saying I'm sure will bear me with. In Rwanda, every minister has his number out. It's there. It's in the public domain. Yeah. In fact, sometimes when you go to the ministries, they post it.
There. Yeah.
Then they say that if you have any challenges, speak to the minister directly. Ghana should not be an exception. So, Kodo Ponkroma, you were not picking your calls. When we needed information from you on Pan-African television, you were not picking your calls. You must pick your calls. You don't have to pick and choose which media house you want to respond to. That ceases now because every TV station has its own viewership. And Pan-African television, we have our own viewers. And if a matter comes up and we call you, you must speak to us. You have to. You are obligated because you are paid with the taxpayers' money. So you don't pick and choose which section of the Ghanaian people you want to respond to. That pick and choose and select and whatever, it ends now. And all the ministers, when we call you, you must pick your calls. Otherwise, we will name and shame. That attitude must stop. You guys are not lords or demigods. You should know that. All these ministers and MPs, when we call you, you don't pick your calls. You should pick your calls. You are not demigods. You are serving the people. The people pay you. The people pay you. Allah care. No. It's very annoying. Sometimes, no, it's very annoying. Because the matter comes up. No, hold on. For instance, a minister for information, you are the mouthpiece of government. Okay, you speak for government. So you should, at all material times, respond to issues raised by people.
Yeah. Somebody will do a bill.
Anyway,
and put number on it. Yet we call the number. Nobody will pick.
Anyway, so President nominates for 6 ministers designates, and I think I've mentioned
are you sure
the ministers. So Desmond, quickly, let me listen to you on this issue.
Well, I think that the president has nominated the 46 ministers.
Yeah.
It's in order.
Yeah.
When I say it's in order, he has no choice. For now, he has been elected as the president. Even though issues are in court, he still has to work. Because in 2013, 2012, when issues went to court, President Mahama appointed his ministers. So I think that he ought to appoint the minister. What I found a bit strange here is that there are some ministries, if they want to retire you, they push you there. There are some ministries.
If they want to do what?
If they want to retire you, they push you there.
Such as
gender and social protection. If they want, just look at the trend. If you are bound to be, yes, but at the end of the day, what do we see? If they want to retire somebody, then they push the person there, and the person will just go on retirement when he goes or she goes to that ministry. So I am only hoping that your MP is not on the verge of going to retirement age.
Who's MP? Who's MP?
See, then again, some ministries have been scrapped.
Yes.
I think that I once sat here and told you that upon all the ministries that, the Nanado-led government created, it's only 5 who are working. And based on the people he has nominated, you could realize that the ministries who were really or actually working are those that he has re-nominated. And he has even interchanged them. You understand? Over the years, we've been hearing of Napo. Now, where has Napo been taken to? Is it not energy?
Yeah.
Now, we have been hearing of energy crisis. People talk about electricity, energy. So, if you claim you've been able to sort our education problem, go there and sort it out and let's see. I keep telling my friends that, look, ever since this government took over, I've not seen them adding even 1 megawatt to the current grid that we have. Yet they claim they have solved electricity problem. It's because somebody started from somewhere and you are enjoying. It is like you are constructing a road. If somebody is able to, take off the rocks and you come and you just put the asphalt on it, does it make you the one who really constructed the road? So for me, I think that it's in order. Just that some ministries, I found it a bit still strange on the list. You understand? I found it a bit strange on the list. But like we said, he said he's cutting down the elephant size from 125 to, is it 85? Yeah. But I asked a simple question. Is he also going to cut down the special aids? Because we know for a fact that some ministers have at least 3 special aids. And all these 3 special aids are entitled to some sort of V8 or 4-wheel drive. And so if he's saying that he's going to cut down the size to about 85 or 86, now if we have 46 and you add deputies, and I hear some people are saying that he's not going to appoint deputies for the regional. So if he's going to appoint deputies for the 46 that he has even nominated, okay, let's take the 16 out, making 36 times 2, that gives you how much? 72. So already the 80 that he's talking of will by all means cross.
Right.
Just that for now he is pushing this to Honorable and his colleagues in Parliament to vet them. And I foresee what is going to happen. I am not a prophet, but I can tell you for a fact that from day one, when they sit down to do the appointment, every time there will be a draw, just as we have draw in Parliament now. And the draw in Parliament, Honorable, I like it so much to extend that you realize that we have female parliamentarians 20 for both sides. And then the male, we have 117 for both sides. So when issues come up and it's going to be a draw, you have the women draw, you have the men to draw. So for now, let's just gear up. Let's, brace ourselves with what is going to happen in the coming days. But there are some people who have issues. And I know Honorable here will talk on that because I know for a fact that some people were, perceived to be involved in certain, activities, certain, contract issues that came up, and still we've not been able to get the answers. So I think that this is the time for them to really interrogate those issues, let Ghanaians know that this person, is he really fit for this occasion? Of course, there are some ministers, you don't have any problem with that. My only problem with the man who said, a plantain is 3 cedis and you went out and it is more than 3 cedis. He has not been fair to Ghanaians. Right. These are some of the questions we need to
I think I should have even started with Honorable because he's a member of Parliament and I'm sure... Are you part of the appointment committee?
No.
You are not?
I'm not.
But you know the people who are on...
Because I'm a ranking member on the communication, so...
Maintained?
Obviously. The committees are yet to come out, but I want to believe I might still be, but let's see what happens. That is at the discretion of our leadership and the collective of our caucus.
But you wish to be back there?
Even if I'm made the porter of our group.
You are still in Parliament?
I will gladly perform any role. In fact, if I'm made gatekeeper for the NDC, the supreme sacrifice for our party and this country, I will perform any role that the NDC leadership in its wisdom, collective wisdom.
What do you make of this list? From 125 to 85. That's a huge reduction.
Yeah. Kwame, first and foremost, let me say a good morning to your good self, my brother too. I hope by the grace of Allah, the next parliament, you should come back. This is a man of immense talent and expertise. And I'm sure this country will be better served if we are able to tap into his deep-seated fountain of wisdom. Let me say a good morning to your technical people. And of course, to the evergreen regional people of the Sanaro constituency. to whom I will always say I owe an irreparable debt of gratitude. Kwame, I cannot start the morning without paying a message of condolence on the death of a very good friend of mine. He's somebody I used to go and have very serious argument with, constructive argument. He's an intellectual par excellence. And notwithstanding the political divide, he was somebody who is very tolerant. And that is Dr. Mwakutufo. I learnt of his demise yesterday and I felt very sad. May the Almighty Allah have mercy on his soul and strengthen the family and the immediate wife, children, and those who are so close to him to withstand the shock and go through. I'm sure this country has missed somebody. Like I said, it's a very objective-minded person who can say things. I'm sure you can remember statements that he made about even his own government, and they said it was controversial and others. I mean, this is the kind of personalities this country needs.
Even for law students, to serve as Attorney General.
Yes, who can look things in the face and say them as they are.
Yeah.
So, Kwame, the size of government. You see, I say you climb a tree to see that which is going. As for that which is coming, stay there, it will meet you. You remember when Nana Akufo-Addo had over 127 ministers? It was a subject, Kwame, we took on. And what were we told, Kwame? That the size of government didn't matter so long as the delivery is there. Was that not the argument?
Absolutely, yeah.
So what is the argument today? Does it matter again? Has the delivery been done in the way that you talked about? What has necessitated the rethink? Let me comment, nevertheless, the decision to cut down on the size of government. Because that one, without any doubt, will inure to the benefit of the taxpayer. Will make some savings. And we told Kwame that it didn't matter, that the savings was minuscule. Was that not the argument?
Yeah.
So what informs the cut down? Because today, Kwame, the economy is extraordinarily tight. Government expenditure, Kwame, of necessity has to be not cut, butchered. So wherever you can get the space to cut, he will cut. So I can tell you without any doubt, it's one of the things informing this decision. Not to talk about even a value for money audit that would have been done to say that even the large numbers. And Kwame, this was the most expansive, the most bloated government in the history of the world. I said it. And I said, there's no country in the world where you could have gone and seen that number of ministers. The entire group. Ghana had set a Guinness Book world record there. 127 plus ministers. Where? And I was just telling you, Kwame, China that we go to borrow money from. And now we have given them our forest reserves and others, and they are reading havoc. Kwame, they have only 22 ministers. I'm not saying that in our circumstances here, we can also have the same 22 ministers. But when you have ministers that are getting to more than 6-7 times the number of some of those things, it can be worrying. It can really be worrying. And so, any decision to downsize, welcome as it is, at the end of the day, we will still come back to the core issue of competence. How competent are the people who are being brought in to do their jobs? I have a number of colleagues in Parliament, colleagues of mine who, I can say without doubt, measure above board. I don't want to give names. I'm sure you just mentioned my good friend at the Eastern region. Seth. I mean, anybody in Parliament will tell you that when Seth Achampong as chairman, I mean, you have no doubt about the competence that he brings to the House and to Parliament. And when he even stands up on the floor to speak, you cannot fault him. You also have some, even though they went to implement programs that already were messed up. There were times we took on our colleague Napo. But there's no doubt that he also exudes some degree of competence. My good friend Honorable Amakwata, my good friend Honorable Damboche. I mean, Damboche, everybody says it, that Damboche is not only a store of knowledge, he's a very, in terms of his integrity and character and his diction, you will not see Damboche engaging in those kinds of bellicose talk and that kind of thing. So these are ministers, and that's why people said that even the former portfolio he was given did not actually fell below his competence. Minister for Regional Reorganization. After organizing the regions, what work does he have to do? So Kwame, all in all, what the good people of this country, first and foremost, let me say that my hope is that this will be a caretaker administration. That is my hope. Because as we all know, the matter is before court. Our hope and expectation is that my belief is that His Excellency President Mahama won the elections. I want to believe that even in the event of what we are asking for in court for a rerun, if we get a rerun, President Nana Akufo-Addo will be out. And the man who is really cut for the verdict of the people of this country will be President Mahama. And so this will prove to be an interim arrangement. That is my prayer and my hope. Whether that will materialize in the face of what we are seeing coming out from the Supreme Court, Kwame, is another matter. If you were to ask me, I have my ideas about how things are going. But I'm just indicating that, for me, that is a hope. Because should it happen, like I said, we'll go for a runoff between President Nana Akufo-Addo, between Nana Akufo-Addo and John Mahama. I have no doubt in my mind. His Excellency President Mahama and His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, I have no doubt in my mind that John Mahama will be a clear winner in the election, and the NDC will come back and continue the good works that the good people of this country are missing so much. But Kwame, the other thing is that when nominations like this are made, the public has an input, and that input is that the public can send memoranda on the nominees. So if a particular nominee, there are very serious allegations or very serious infractions that the nominee has engaged in the recent past or even previously, that has a bearing on the competence to hold that office. Kwame, the public is at liberty to send this memorandum to Parliament. So I want to urge the public to take a very keen interest in this matter. And I can assure you that, Kwame, take it from me, this will be the most grueling scrutiny of ministers than ever before. Because, number one, today, nobody can walk away in the comfort that the MPP has the numbers. They can simply pass the ministers. It won't happen. And the scrutiny levels, especially for some key ministers. And I, Kwame, even though I'm not a member of that committee, on that day, I will try and even go there because there are some ministers I want to ask questions, especially the finance minister. He has done so many untoward things that, Kwame, I think he must face perhaps one of the biggest scrutinies where our economy is today. What has happened to the lives of many Ghanaians, the collapsed banks, Kwame, the Ken bond from the very beginning, all those issues, plus some other ministers, they must face critical scrutiny. And so I think that the searchlight on these nominees must be as intense as it can ever be. Yeah. So that at the end of the day, the public interest will be better served.
Okay, let me still stay with you and look at some of the ministries that have been scrapped and find out whether it was as a result of the fact that we badly managed those ministries or they were needless to even start with. Because I believe that, for instance, the Ministry for Zongo Development was, something that could have been channeled, could have been used for the advancement of the Zongo communities in this country. That is one. Two, business development. I don't know whether we didn't find a way of ensuring that it was used properly. I mean, as a vehicle that was used properly for the development of businesses and things like that. Because now, where we are now as a nation, we have young people who are very innovative and creative, you know, and who obviously would fall within the category of business development. Let's also look at monitoring and evaluation. And monitoring and evaluation, in my estimation, could have been a ministry that will oversee all the activities of the ministries in this country, and a report further submitted to the presidency for either onward action or whatever it is, based on their findings. So I think that could have also stayed. There's no mention of sports ministry, and I find that to be very strange. No, there's no mention of sports.
Mustafa Yusuf.
Sports?
Yeah. Member of Parliament for Yaba.
Hey, if there's no sports,
Is there?
there's sports.
I think there was some additional 3.
Okay, then I've not seen. I've not seen. Okay, well, so if we have
that one, and I think something on public enterprises.
Yeah.
okay, then that's
Public enterprises.
then that's okay. But no ministry for youth development. And I find that to also be very strange, Honorable.
Youth development.
Yes.
Yeah, Kwame, it's a function of the government's vision.
No,
What
granted,
it must
but you
do.
see, the government vision must not be divorced from the general vision of the people. Of course, I mean,
We have this authority.
yes, we have youth authority, but the youth authority must operate under a
You
bigger
see,
umbrella.
Kwame, when the NDC and the President Mahama, we launched our manifesto, President Mahama had indicated that because of the importance of the youth and the preponderance of youth issues in the country, we are going to create a ministry specifically for that. Is the vision of a leader. If a leader has no vision in that direction, you don't expect him to create a ministry for that. So the creation of ministries and others, Kwame, is in furtherance of the vision that the leader shares. If the leader doesn't share a vision, he will not create a ministry, because the ministry is to actualize that vision. Is to make sure that vision is given life. So if you didn't have the vision of a youth and other to deal with youth matters, how are you going to do
But
it?
let's look at the Zongo ministry for
You see, you mentioned the
That's what
business
I'm
vision, and I thought from the little that we gathered, our brother Awai was doing a good job at the business ministry, and that is why I say, Kwame, it is a vision. How you maneuver the ministries in such a manner that there is no duplication. Because there are some who, in spite of the this, may say that you can merge this ministry with this ministry, like Zongo ministry we are talking about. The Zongo ministry, it just tells you maybe it was more of, I don't want to say that and I'll be accused of doing politics, but it was more of a propagandistic than real intent. It was supposed to just flaunt the Zongo team in the face of the Zongos, and not a true commitment. Because Kwame, right from the onset, when they even unveiled the budget and that, we had reasons to ask questions even in Parliament about the pottery sums of this and that were supposed to be allocated for the Zongo ministry. And so, from the time of our brother, I think it was Boniface.
Boniface first.
Boniface before Mustafa.
Ahmed.
Because Mustafa was first information minister. So it was Boniface. And those in Parliament, we used to even taught our brother, Honorable Boniface Sadiq, that, Master, this is what the whole ministry can come to, and to deal with all Zongos across the length and breadth of the country. No wonder, Kwame, at the end of the 10 or 4 years, go and find out what was in the Zongos. In fact, the Zongos were, when they were going to mention, they talk of 4 astro thefts. Is it 3 or 4? Mm-hmm. Even one of them at Chebi, and they called Chebi a Zongo. Chebi, it be Zongo.
Bazongo de
Kwame, I they ask you, Chebi Bizongo.
Bazongo de Chebi.
I they ask you, Kwame, Chebi Bizongo. If you want real Zongos, you don't know where to find them. And after 4 years, Kwame, just go and peruse.
What was the purpose, the intent and purpose of the creation of that ministry?
That was say that it was more propagandistic.
No. I mean, what did government say?
That it wanted to uplift the quality of life for the people in the
so,
Zongos.
i.e.,
and they even said that
i.e. educational projects and things
so
like
many other things, even housing.
yeah.
You remember?
But there's no denying the fact that in our Zongos, and I've lived in a Zongo before, so I know what I'm saying. I'm not saying this because somebody told me. I've lived in Asante Mampo, I lived in a Zongo, right? Most of us who lived in the Zongo communities were denied of some very important amenities, for instance. And if we created a ministry for the purposes of looking into those issues, I thought that was a very good thing. And that if we had properly executed its mandate, we would have been able to achieve some end. No?
Yes, but I'm just, and that's why I said that it was more of a propagandistic intent than.
So why must we scrap it? It means that the person who was put there, or you are saying that, okay, I'm getting your argument. I'm getting your argument. So there was no real commitment from
No, exactly.
Okay, I see.
It was just to touch it in the face that we are giving you Zongos a ministry, so that the people will feel good. But beyond that, nothing material and concrete was going to happen in their lives.
We need to define what a Zongo really means.
You understand?
Because like Honorable is saying, okay,
let Honorable
come. So Kwame, if there was a real intent, and Kwame, if it will rain, you see it in the clouds. When there's no cloud, the sun is shining hot, then you come and make a weather prediction that there will be heavy, copious rainfall. People will laugh at you because if there are no clouds, there won't be rain. I lie.
Yeah.
So you enunciate the policy for a Zongo ministry, and there is no appropriate budget befitting of the work and the assignment that we are giving to the Zongo. What does that tell you? Straight from the point, you get declared that there's no commitment to ensure that ministry will succeed. We are only doing it for wishy-washy. The Gombes call it Bamkarunguma. Somebody is pestering you, you don't really want to give the person something. They say, oh, take this thing and leave my back. So this take and leave my back. There's no true commitment. If the true commitment from the very outset, Kwame, there would have been a budget that shows you the intent that there will be something to implement. Like I said, at the end, you go to tell you 3 or 4 astro thefts, one at Chebi Zongo, one at Wale, and they shared it among the president, the vice president. Zongo they are sharing, Zongo property they are sharing like that. The president at Chebi, the vice president at Wale, and there was also somebody. They shared it among 3 people. And the minister also took one. You see, so you just see that clearly from even this, there was no attempt to even do anything at the Zongo. Okay? And even right now, we were told that Nima, the president lives in Nima Lai.
Yeah.
There were Zongo people around. You remember even before they cleared all the Zongo people around his residence. And my brother Suhini alluded to that. All those other people, one of the divorce was also clear people who were earning their living around the president's house. But it makes some nice garden and park there.
But that's an astro theft.
So it's another, maybe you want to record that as another achievement. That he cleared hundreds of people who were making their living across there and made it into a park. That's an achievement. Kwame.
But that's a security zone. I think it's
beyond that.
It starts to reason that. I mean,
yeah, but you see, so Nima, people of Nima were told that there will be high rises. You remember?
But how is that going to be achieved?
Kwame, all those things we were told that the money was here and that it is possible to do all those things. We were told that.
So they were going to break down people's homes in Nima and then
Kwame,
erect those.
That is why we said that the sweetness of the pudding is not in the aroma.
But let's look at monitoring and evaluation.
I honestly think that
beyond the politics, that could have been.
No, Kwame, I thought that aspect, you see, at the Ministry of Local Government and through the ambit of the assemblies, government projects and others could be monitored. So monitoring and the desks and other things at the Ministry of Local Government can do this work.
Granted.
That's why, for me, a lot of the functions that were taken away from the local government ministry, it had been stripped almost bare. And a lot of the very important functions of the local government ministry were taken away.
Granted, but
so I think that
the person could have been given a bigger role to play, so that even for all the regional ministers and all of that, everybody will send their reports to him. He looks at it and then forwards it to the president.
You see, Kwame, part of the decision at the presidency, not only do we have this, but we have the office of the chief of staff.
Okay,
the office of the chief of staff is specifically to monitor, inspect, ensure that government policies, programs, projects, and others are carried to the specification that government has.
But I thought that was the work of the senior minister.
So you see, Kwame, you are even bringing more duplication.
Yeah.
If you have a chief of staff, you have a senior minister. Yeah. And then you go and create another issue of monitoring. It's superfluous.
Yeah.
It's superfluous. You are only duplicating functions and engaging in needless expenditure. And that is a huge burden to the taxpayer. So at a time when you should be downsizing and saving money and lessening taxes, you are going to face more problems.
Procurement ministry.
Needless. Kwame, every entity from the assembly and others. Yes, every this is so. I'm happy for my sister Ajua that at least they have scrapped that in and put her in a place where she can function better. At the gender ministry, I think Ajua, in spite of your reservations about your roots and other things, I think that maybe she use her experience as a activist to do that.
Think about this, the fact that Kwame Pianin says 2021 will be tough for the Danko Kufa. That is on the front page of the Inside Newspaper. So think about that. Make your notes. I'll come back to you. That's what. Let me hear from you on this issue because you wanted to respond to a few things. Yeah.
Said, there's an astroturf in Chebi. Something just came into my mind, and it's like, do we really have a real definition for what a Zongo community really is? Because if we want to talk about Zongo communities, then I think that the government or the MPP government did nothing in terms of development, in terms of making sure that our Zongo communities are also benefiting in the areas that we claim they are not Zongo communities. Because why am I saying this? If you take an example, like a place called New Fadama. You know, Honorable, there's an astroturf over there, which was commissioned about a week before the elections. The vice president went to commission it. And just close to the turf, there's this 3-story building that the previous government built. A classroom, 3-story building, classroom block. And for me, what the people need is more than the astroturf, because that building can cater for an ICT, class for the people of Zongo to benefit. But that classroom block is still there. People are not even using it. It has been closed. And then you go and, you say you are making an astroturf for them. And for crying out loud, New Fadama, if you want to compare Zongo communities, that side is a residential area. Oh yes. So that's why I'm saying that we need to define where a Zongo community is. Because if you look at Nima, if you look at Ashaman, and you come back to New Fadama, you realize that New Fadama is a residential area compared to our Zongo communities. So Honorable is right by saying that now Chebi is now classified as a Zongo community. Hallelujah.
Anyway, all right. Well, if you just joined us, you're watching the newspaper review segment here on Pan-African Television. The WhatsApp number is 0260846539. We're also streaming live on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Pan-African Television. We are on YouTube as well, and you can connect with us there. You can also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter. You can share with us, with me, your comments, and we'll read them out. All right, but let's look at the fact that Kwame Pianin is saying that 2021, this year, will be very tough for Nana Dankwa Ekufuado.
Let me amend the statement and say that 2021 will be tough for whoever is president. Because there's a possibility that His Excellency President Mahama will still be the president of the Republic. Ally. So, Kwame.
Yes, sir.
You see, as I indicated, that the sweetness of a pudding is not the aroma. It's in the actual eating. Kwame, when you are doing, especially when the budget is going to be read, and I'm sure the Minister for Finance will come back to the House next month. Okay? And Kwame, we shall all get the decision. Currently, as we speak, our economy is one of the lowest growing economies in the West African sub-region. Minus 0.9%. Kwame. So technically, when your economy is experiencing negative growth, you are in recession. That is the technical definition. Okay? Even less endowed economies like Burkina Faso and others are registering positive growth. So even as we speak, for 2021, Kwame, the forecast is not something that you'll be enthused with. Yes, I am the first to admit that the presence of this pandemic called COVID-19 has wrought a lot of devastation on many economies, including the economies of developed countries. But Kwame, the extent to which you manage this thing has been the difference. Because in spite of all that, economies like China and others have experienced positive growth. Okay? And don't forget, Kwame, we were told that Dr. Bawumia and President Nana Akufo-Addo told us that they had built one of the most resilient and robust economies that we can think of. I'm sure you can remember that argument.
Of course I do.
When the coronavirus struck for the first 2 weeks, that's why they say that when you tout the robustness or the resilience of your economy, 2 weeks of coronavirus will expose you. And when we had the 2 weeks of coronavirus, all of us could see what had happened to our economy going forward. So Kwame, the issues of economic growth, which figures I can't give you, but I'm sure when the finance minister comes, we shall all hear. It's not going to be much to write home about. So Kwame, that is the first signal that you should brace yourselves for some difficult times. Kwame, when you begin the year with fuel price increases, in fact, I think about 2 weeks ago, fuel prices went up, and we hear that they are going up again. So if it does happen again, on the back of just at the beginning of the year, you have this level of increases, Kwame, not only with that fuel inflation, but it's going to have a very telling effect on the standard of living of the people. Very soon, we are going to have agitations for increases in lorry fares. And this one is going to spiral into other increases in other sectors of the economy. So that is in itself a signal of the difficulties hardening. Kwame, you are talking about food prices. I was just making inquiries today, and they were telling me, for instance, in Tamale and other places, a bag of maize is beyond 150, 170, getting to 200 Ghana cedis. One bag of maize. Kwame, this under President Mama was what sold for 70 Ghana cedis. You can go and check the records. Now it's above 150, 170, getting to 200 Ghana cedis. A bag. Now this has been done when the successes of the so-called successes of the planting for food and jobs have been touted. And I said that, look, a lot of it is disingenuous. Kwame, at the time the Minister for Food and Agriculture was touting these successes and also got the president to embody it in the State of the Nation address. Kwame, from the US alone, in 2018, we had imported 19,000 metric tons of maize.
19,000.
19,000 metric tons of maize. In 2019, it rose to 26,000 metric tons of maize. That's maize alone. And that is only from the US alone. Meanwhile, in these addresses, Ghanaians were told that we are now self-sufficient in maize production and that we didn't need to import anything, and that all those dishes were domestically produced. That is patently false. The Minister for Agriculture made this and got got it into the president's session address. Kwame, it was so bad that, no, Kwame, we even credited cereals from a stock in which poverty-stricken countries like Burkina Faso were contributors. The ECOWAS buffer stock went and credited 2,700 metric tons of cereals. Kwame, the sad thing about it is that when the time came for us to pay, we defaulted. We credited cereals from that fund. And I think initially there was an attempt to deny it, but even we got the deputy minister, former deputy minister for Agric, and former member of parliament for Wale Wale, Honorary Sarah Bambang. He came, in fact, on the floor of parliament, and upon critical scrutiny, he had to admit, and that he went and stood in for the government and took the credited cereals. And so we suffered that infamy of not being able to pay back when the time came, and our image was stake. And these were times when we were touting this thing. Kwame, come and look at debt to GDP. We hadn't even gotten the end of year figures, but we're totaling closer to 78%. This is the most reckless record of borrowing in the history of our country. No government in the history of our country, Kwame, has borrowed like the Nana Akufo-Addo government. Kwame, you recall that when President Mahama was leaving office on 7th January 2017, the total indebtedness of the country from independence to the time President Mahama was leaving office on 7th January 2017 was 120 billion. Kwame, 120 billion. It is estimated that by the time Nana Akufo-Addo's government, it will even be more, because we are waiting for the amortization and the other loans that are taking effect. 295 billion. So Kwame, take the difference. Take the difference. At least a conservative 175 from the MPP government alone, borrowing for these 4 years that they have been in government. So I just told you that from independence to President Mahama, 120. Nana Akufo-Addo government alone for 4 years, over 170 billion. Come, this is a government which was, when it was in opposition, touted the decision that this country is awash with resources. You remember the famous Sikani Waha? Yeti Sikaso. So come there. This time Yeti Sika Bebresu so come here. You see the difference? That same philosophy of having that money here, and that it is possible to develop the economy without borrowing. Dr. Bawia's mantra, that it is possible to do all the development without borrowing. And now look at the record. No government in the history of our country has come anywhere close to the record. And the worst of it, Kwame, is that ask yourself, what has the money been used for? If President Mahama borrowed around 74 billion, okay, let's just take that record. Kwame, you can see perhaps one of the most, with the notable exception of maybe the government of Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, showed one of the most aggressive pursuit of infrastructure development, from the power sector, okay, to roads, interchanges, bridges, brand new hospitals. Kwame, but for the hospitals that President Mahama built, this COVID-19 would have been a disaster. To have brought worse disaster, because all the hospitals today that are full, we are told that all the hospitals are full, are hospitals that were built by President Mahama, from the Ga East, from the University of Ghana Medical Center, all the other places we can talk about are pre-existing infrastructure. Ask yourself that for the 4 years that Nana Akufo-Addo government was there, which single hospital have they built? Kwame, one, two single hospital.
They want to build 88 new.
They want to. Kwame, your chickens having, your eggs having had, you are counting your chickens.
Before end of last year.
Your hen is still sitting on the eggs, and you have started counting your chickens. Who tells you that all the eggs are going to hatch, and that even any of the eggs will hatch at all? It is not there. And for Kwame, are you telling me that for 4 years, if you are in government for 4 years, you cannot build hospitals? You cannot. You wait until an election where they come and tell us 88. You are even now going to add it to 90. What is that? That's an abysmal record. Kwame, look at it. And initially we were told a lot of the monies went into free HHS. And we got the finance minister to come before parliament. And he came and told her that all the money that was spent on the free HHS was 3.2 billion. 3.2 billion cedis. Look at this atrocious level of borrowing that we have. And so, Kwame, today, the IMF has done a debt stress analysis. And we feel put all that this government of Nana Akufo-Addo has sent us to the brink of another epic. There's no now space for any government to borrow. The space for borrowing is so narrow and constrained that, Kwame, if you are not careful, self, after payment of interest and other things, you don't have any money left for any development. That is where they have sent us to. So if Mr. Kwame Pieni tells you that this is an economy that is in very serious
So there was
trouble.
no investment in capital expenditure. I mean, it was just for
Kwame,
consumption.
when we sit in parliament and they bring most ministries, departments and agencies, when they bring their capex, zero.
Wow.
Their capex is zero. Capital expenditure, they don't give them anything.
Wow.
Yes. Many ministries, departments and agencies.
So what were the monies used for then?
I'm telling you. So you have ministries and some of them are sitting down there. They have nothing to work on.
So what did we use the monies for? Consumption.
Kwame, in election year, when people go to villages and they are distributing 200 Ghana cedi notes, just for the purposes of getting elected, what do you think is happening? Not for the actual development. Look at how money was shared across the length of even COVID-19 monies that was supposed to have used for this country to fight. Kwame, schools have reopened. And I want Pan-Africa, I'm challenging Pan-Africa because you do a lot of investigative things. Kwame, take your cameras and go to the schools and see the state in which the schools are and their state of preparedness to face this dangerous. Now, COVID-19 is a horrible pandemic. Our hospitals are all full. Kwame, people are dying like fowls on a daily basis. I'm sure you have heard it. I saw they just played some this thing about the number of deaths that are coming up. And so it's a very serious threat to the lives of our people. Go down and see the state of preparedness. Even in schools, some even Veronica bucket, common Veronica bucket, some they even have. Go to our frontline medical staff, PPEs and others, go and ask them whether they have the adequate complement of their PPEs and others as they face the pandemic on the front line. Go and ask them. So where are all these monies? Kwame, and I remember Parliament, we summoned, in the last Parliament, we summoned the Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Ken Ofo-Addo, to come and account to us. First, we gave him 1.9 billion Ghana cedis. He also went and took 1 billion from the IMF. So all the monies that have been taken for COVID, this thing, what has happened to the money? No account. Kwame, so you see the situation that we are facing. So if you are told, and so Kwame Pieni, never know nobody knows he's a respected economist. If you look at, if you put all the macroeconomic indicators, and Kwame, I've not even come to issues of government revenue and expenditure, which will add another deficit. Because if your expenditure outmatches your revenue, obviously you are going to build on more deficit. And so if you have to go and do deficit financing and others, either you go and print more money and engender more inflation and make the cost of living spiral, then it has a cyclical effect on your economy. So you see that, Kwame, the economic situation is very dire. It's reflected in, like I just indicated to you, maize, which is a staple, which, like I said, under President Mama was about 70 Ghana cedis. Now it's spiraling towards 200 Ghana cedis.
No. Somebody sent a message. He said in Techiman is 250 Ghana cedis. The bag of maize, yeah.
There's no money to pay.
Yeah, 250 Ghana cedis.
There are many, Kwame, it's a very dire picture because, you see, food prices and others are a basis on which you will stabilize your economy and stabilize inflation. When food prices are rocketing and are off this and that, Kwame, you can see what is going to happen. And we are not too far away. If we are in January, and prices are already. Can you be what they will be in March and April, before even the new season crops come out? So you can see what is happening, Kwame. So that is a very, very serious thing. So you don't come to government revenue and government expenditure and others, and Kwame, then bazaar. Then statutory payments are going to come in. District Assembly Common Fund, National Health Insurance Levy, Get Fund. You are going to factor all these things in, Kwame, after servicing these atrocious debts that have left us. So that is going to be a very, very difficult way to navigate this economy that is coming. Not to talk of outstanding payments. As we speak now, government, the collapsed banks and others that they have done, Kwame, those whose monies have still lost, government has not paid many of them. You hear them throwing figures out that they are paid 95 or almost 100% have been paid. A lot of it is not true. You speak to the people on the ground, a lot of them come to say that they have not been paid their monies. I heard one even said that, and they went to arrest him. Is it Black Rasta or who made allusion to the fact that
bulldog,
bulldog, dog bull or bulldog? Said
the men's gold.
Yeah, the men's
You see, it's morph. It began. Kwame. Bulldog mouth. Even bulldog, you get big mouth. Or they say you get big mouth, you talk too much. So you see that, Kwame, is really, really, whichever sector, whichever way you look at it.
Yeah.
It's very, very tight.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. Thank you. Let me bring Desmond because of time.
So, Kwame.
Yes, sir.
When the house has fallen,
You don't
ask whether the roof is still standing.
The economy has collapsed. There. We shouldn't ask whether Akufo-Addo survive or not.
we just have to pray.
That's what.
We just have to continue praying,
you, yeah.
because from what this our own uncle, grandpa, Kwame Pianin is saying, he is an economist. And based on what he has seen over the years, and even going into an election, the kind of spending that we do over the years, when it is an election year, we spend. But this particular election, 2020 election,
You don't see some before.
I never see some before, Kwame. It is serious. And so, if in January, people are even crying, you know, over the years, immediately after elections, people still have some money to hold on to.
Oh yeah, small at least.
But in this particular season, I don't know if some of you still have what it takes, but every day you receive calls. Schools have been reopened, and my good friend, Honorable, not ABA, Ayaga, you know, the school fees, tertiary school fees. He just said, why wouldn't you even absorb it so that people can be able to, you know, sustain themselves? It has become an issue. Well, they are still debating on it. Let me leave that. But, Kwame, we are now entering into a period where people are going to be more hungry. People are going to be, you know, yearning for food items. Harmattan season is coming now.
Corona 2 day.
Corona 2 is somewhere in the corner. The pockets too are dry. So where do we turn to? Where do we turn to? This government, you know, I don't know what they have used our monies for, but the little I know is that they have just chopped the money. They have just spent the money on themselves. They have spent the money on other family and friends or other issues. Because if you ask them, where are the monies? Where are the projects? They keep telling us huge sums of monies. Yet you cannot pinpoint a particular project that you can boost off. They keep telling us, one district, one factory. Ask yourself, how many districts have factories? They keep telling us 1 million, one constituency. I don't know if Honorable was able to benefit from his constituency. So, what at all? Now look at the borrowing to an extent that if care is not taken, by close of next month, we'll be declared as a hippie country. If we are declared, it's not a news again, because after all, since independence, this is the government who has borrowed more. When you ask them, when you borrow, what do you use the money for? There's nothing to show. People stood in the sun to vote for you. Do something for them. At the end of the day, nothing. So what do you want us to do? Even as we speak now, monies to pay for cocoa farmers is in another issue. It's another issue. People are calling me from the villages. Hey, Desmond, we've still not received monies to pay for cocoa farmers. And I keep asking, why? Must you spend all the monies on election? And even spending all these monies on election, at the end of the day, you've been declared through error. And so, what are you going to tell Ghanaians? What are you going to tell us? In 2020, I sat here and I said that Ghanaians, if we should continue to vote for MPP, there's doom ahead of us. No wonder this man has come to confirm what I said. Because from immediately after elections, you increase fuel prices. Now, are you aware that free electricity and free water, we are going to feel the impact somewhere in March?
Of course.
If a bill...
But did you think it was going to be free?
Even
that was in Ugandan.
Even this electricity that they said the lifeline, do you know that people who consume less than 20 cedis a month, they are the people who are on the lifeline. So me and you, we are not on the lifeline. And I can tell you that in my area, they've changed the new meters. And every week, not less than 80 Ghana cedis has to go into electricity. And yet we claim we are giving them free light and free water. When they were campaigning, they would tell you sugar-coated words. After campaigning, then they'll tell you, tighten your belt.
As the police officers, they promise them...
They'll tell you, tighten your belt.
They promise them increment in their salaries.
So why do you have to deceive your fellow colleagues? If the thing is not there, just be truthful to them and say, it is not there. Prior to elections, we saw the number of projects, the sword cuttings. People were just carrying mattock in their carts. Everywhere they reach, they will just say, I'm digging, I'm going to construct this. And at the end of the day, what do we see? Go use Teshinunga Road. And I always give that example because I have never seen road construction without drainage systems. Now, if it should rain now, I feel pity for those staying around, the construction site, because there are no drainage. Yet they said they are constructing a road. When you ask them, where are the monies? They said, oh, we are constructing this. We've done this. You go there, nothing to show. You go and see forest. You go there, they said, oh, we contracted the dam. You go and you see a manhole. I mean, what is all this? Do you understand? You go and see a manhole.
Manhole.
Yes. It's a manhole, a dam. So sometimes you wonder, some of these things is our own doing. Some of these things is our own doings. If we have not stood in the sun to vote for them, we will not be in hardship like this. Like Honorable is saying, if you ask them of anything, they said, oh, free SHS. They campaign all their hopes. They bank all their hopes on free HSS. And at the end of the day, look at what happened.
It was successful.
Successful, and we are in court. Successful, and you were declared through errors.
No, I
Successful.
you're talking about the free SHS. You're talking about the election.
Yes, but no, during the elections, when you ask them of anything, oh, we've done free SHS. And at the end of the day, what happened? Well, we are still in court.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, once the court is saying that in 42 days, they will come out with their verdict, I just hope and pray that we should just lace our boot for a round-off. Because based on some of us, analysis, we foresee a runoff coming.
Okay, thank you, Desmond. Let me read a few messages. Kwame, a bag of maize is 300 cedis for white maize and 330 for yellow. I'm a poultry farmer.
It depends.
Hold on, I'm reading. This is a message I'm reading.
Depends on the area.
He says he's a poultry farmer. Soya bean meal jumped from 150 to 220 Ghana cedis in less than a month. That's what he is saying. I think.
Kwame, proud to December.
No, but a crate of, I think 2 days ago,
Complaining that
2 days ago or 3 days ago, I think Ivy on the news even mentioned that. I think a crate of
the thing we are talking about maize, and that's what is a contradiction to these governments and a lot of information they put out which is not true. You know, poultry farmers were looking for maize they couldn't get.
Yes.
So and they told them go to Ejura, go to the whatever. There was no maize.
Yeah.
Kwame, in November, December last year, government was forced to issue permits for them to import maize out of the country. At the time, they were touting the success of the planting for food and jobs. They had to issue permits to poultry farmers to go and import maize, yellow maize, and other diseases outside the country to come and do meals for them.
Hello, good morning. Trust you are good. Please tell my NDC Honorable that he should keep up with the good work. And please tell my NDC Honorable to tell Honorable Harry Idrisu that I really admire him so much and I would love to meet him one day. Deliver a message to him for me. Long live NDC, long live JM, long live Professor Nana. This one is from Harry in Cape Coast. This one also says, hello Pan-African TV. Why did the president address the nation about free water and electricity bill, but we are still paying? Even 1 cup of water we need to pay. Kwame Agama Gershon in Sogakope. Malik from Hohoi says, please tell government to pay our salary. We are hungry. Where do you work? Somebody will just say, you don't see nothing yet. Good morning, KOD. I'm very grateful to Desmond for expressing our concerns on the inability of government to pay cocoa farmers. This one is from Kojo in Osei, Kojo Krom. Yeah, cocoa farmers. Right.
They have not been paid.
Cocoa farmers have not been paid. Yes. That's sad. Good morning to you. My name is Ahmed. I live in Germany, Hamburg. Thank you. Kwame. Kwame, share to you and your panelists. All right, share. Let it be known to Honorable ABF Senate that the worst thing happening to depositors of the collapsed financial institutions is that they are being instructed to contact their agents through numbers supplied to be paid a part of the locked up fund for a fee. Wow. Agency are being.
This money is locked. You have to go and pay for a fee a day before.
What is that?
Good morning to you, KOD. Olonka of rice. Olonka is 6 Ghana cedis. Olonka, you know Olonka, right? Olonka, that's small. It's 6 Ghana cedis. My old farmer's cocoa. The margarine one, the small one.
Yes, but Olonka.
Olonka, not the big one, not the tomato paste one.
Not the tomato paste one.
My old farmer's cocoa money has not been paid since my father's cocoa money has not been paid since last year December. Please, I don't want my father to die without being paid. From Kofa inside East Legon, but my father is in Volta region, Logba Tota. Hey, child, this cocoa farmers issue.
No, myself, but you know, my mother's cocoa
farmer.
I need ABF Husseini's.
My own is there. Not been paid.
I need ABF Husseini's contact number. This one is from Adam in Wale. Good morning to you, Kwame. Why is President Nanado reducing his ministers to 85? Ghanaians are very disappointed in him. Tell Honorable Ibi Owusu to give me his number. I want to discuss something with him privately. Namabila Elijah from Ejura. Good morning, Pan-African TV. I'm very happy for you. If all the TV stations in Ghana will be like you, Ghanaian people will be happy. Achu Ledi from Togo sent him this message. Thank you, Achu Ledi. Advise Ghanaians the virus exists, and Germany has passed a law about failure to wear a mask. Kwame, please tell the government to pay us our December allowance. NAPCO.
Trouble. Remember earlier I said the problem. Bon picking no be problem. Money for the matter
And diaper.
Mustafa Lowa Manyakrobo. When the wicked rules, everything turns upside down. The Christian and Peace Council are calling for peace instead of justice. May God forgive pagans on the altars of as our religious leaders. My regards to Honorable Davido. Okay, thank you. Mystic, inside his home Adredri. You say the 8th Parliament is a novelty and it's going to be very interesting. I entreat the NDC members on the appointment committee not to qualify Hawa Kumsin as a minister because this is an insensitive and okay, all right. I think your point has been made. This one has sent me a picture. It says Tamale maize full of this is 6 Ghana cedis. So this is what the person has sent. 6 Ghana cedis in Tamale. Wow. This one says NAPCO. They have not paid us, so please, government should do something. We are dying. I believe this one is from Nigeria. Good morning to you, Kwame. I always watch your program, and I used to be very happy to be a Ghanaian. Please, what I want from the NDC is to fight in their capacity to remove this government. Please try. I know this may want to try to kick back so that they can find their whip. So please, we don't want Idi Amin in Ghana. My greetings to Honorable A.B. Owusu for his courage. God bless Ghana. Sule Mohammed sends this one in from Nigeria. Hi, Kwame. Truth be told, there's a problem with government flagship program, especially the planting for food and jobs, because a bag of maize is now around 220 to 240 at Ejura, a leading maize production town. Yes. Hi, Kwame. I am Fila in Doma West. Please, since December last year, our cocoa money has not been paid by PBC. So please tell the government to do something. We need our money to pay our fees. If any cocoa farmer is willing to be granted an interview on Pan-African television, I'll be more than delighted to host that person on the show. So people should just feel free, come out and speak. Good morning, my name is Clifford from Bolga. I don't blame Nana, I blame Ghanaians because they are paying for their errors. I think my time is up and I have to run away.
Somebody just sent me information that because MPP lost the Ablekuma Central, listen, they were AstroTurf they were doing there. They have said they will close it. They won't allow them to use it.
Why?
No, it just said
does it belong to them?
Yeah,
it belongs to the state.
Somebody just sent me.
Look, I had over 1,000 messages. I'm not sure I'll be able to.
Ablekuma,
my family
and go there.
Honorable Abel, thank you.
Ministry has been scrapped.
Desmond, thank you very much. And thank you to the viewers for watching today's edition of Good Morning Africa. My name is Kwame Owusu. So today has been very insightful. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on Monday. Tomorrow is Alaji and Alaji. I'm sure you're definitely going to have fun on the show. It's hosted by my brother, Sena Nombo, from 9 a.m. to 12 midday. So please make sure you stay glued to Pan-African television. And today we're going to have a lot more programs on the station. So stay tuned in. But I'm looking for a cocoa farmer to interview. If you are one. You're a cocoa farmer. You be cocoa farmer, but you don't turn that thing. No, at least you are familiar face. I want somebody, you are familiar face. People might think you are doing propaganda. So I want somebody who is not a familiar face.
That's a cocoa farmer from a distant country.
Yeah, proper cocoa farmer from where?
I'll bring somebody from my village.
Bring somebody from a village. So that at least we can, we would have. This cocoa and maize issue is getting out of hands. I think we must address it with immediacy. So, yeah, if you are able to find a cocoa farmer who is willing to come on Pan-African television, send me a message on my Facebook page or my Twitter handle, which is Kwame Owusu Danso.
Meanwhile, one of the areas that they tout as success.
Yeah,
in the
maize production.
It's maize.
Yeah, maize production.
And look at the figures are getting.
Yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a nice day. Bye bye.